Hello, everyone, and welcome to Steve Rosenfield's stand-up comedy workshop show, the online virtual edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. What you're going to see tonight is a company of stand-up comedians that have trained together in a workshop conducted by the award-winning comedy director, the founder of the American Comedy Institute, and the author of the book Mastering Stand-Up, Steve Rosenfield. Now, some of our alumni have gone on to perform on The Late Show, The Tonight Show, Saturday Night Live, Conan, Gotham Comedy Live, and they perform in the greatest stand-up clubs all over the country and all over the world. And now one of the greatest is your living room or wherever you're watching this tonight. We're bringing the stand-up comedy club to you. Congratulations, you now own a stand-up comedy club. And the 2-drink minimum is very much in effect for this evening. So hope you have a lot of fun. Thank you again for tuning in. We have a great lineup of comedians and we are performing from all over the country tonight. I'm going to be your host. My name is Mikayla and my background is correct. I am in New York City. Thrilled to be here. I love it. It's my home, but I did go to home, my previous home in the beginning of the pandemic because I didn't want to be alone. I had to be with the 2 greatest quarantine buddies that anyone could wish for. Ladies and gentlemen, they've been married now for 27 beautiful years. They've watched all 8 seasons of Dexter thrice. And they don't believe in global warming. It was Mike and Tina Fagan, the greatest parents. Yes, I love them. I have some claps for my parents in the crowd here. Well, they live in Florida, a terrifying place, and they live in a 55 and over community in Florida, an even more terrifying place. I could not sleep at night because I knew I was the only fertile woman in at least a mile. And if this became a situation where we had to repopulate the earth, which for a moment I thought it could be, there was going to be a line of old men knocking down my door. So I had to establish the parameters of the competition that would ensue. The Viagra Games. You must have an active driver's license to enter. Then there would be a jitterbug competition just to determine their style, their flair, and endurance. And finally, bocce ball to the death. I would procreate with the lone victor. And by procreate, I mean go to one socially distanced early bird special at Boston Market. That was the prize. Thankfully for those men, everyone's okay. And I'm back where I belong in New York City. Actually just became a New York City tour guide, like licensed, official. Yes, I know it all. I know it all about this crazy place. I'm a tour guide for what is called the playground for the rich. That's what they're calling New York City now. And I have to say, I'm finding it to be true. But the rich people aren't the only ones on this playground. No, we are the exhausted caretakers eating our dry Cheerios out of Ziploc bags, just sitting on the metal benches on the side, making sure that they don't fall out of their residential skyscrapers that are designed to sway. Crazy ride right there. They're going up and down on the, I don't know if you call it a teeter-totter or a seesaw. They call it the stock market. That's their favorite. And they're always wanting you to watch them. They're like, watch me over here, climb Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Oh, I'm past success. I'm on my way to self-actualization. That's how it feels living in New York City a lot of the time. So I have a lot of anxiety. I do. I get really anxious. Mostly I have hypochondria. Like if I actually died from what I think I could die from, my funeral would be like, welcome everyone. We here lay to rest Mikayla Fagan. She died from eating a very old ring pop. Oh, it did her in. Perhaps if it hadn't been sour watermelon, she would still be here today. She would still be here. I'm scared of little things like that very much. And I try and calm down, but I can't listen to a guided meditation when a man is doing it. They're like, take a deep breath. I'm like, don't you dare tell me to calm down, sir. I will not calm. Don't you dare tell me to calm down. So I'm having a hard time with that. Oh, it's tough. It's tough. I just moved into a new apartment pretty recently. It is not my dream apartment because it's not above a bakery. I would just want to live there. Who lives there? It can't just be the bakers. Gosh, I'd love it so much. I'd come home after a long day. Probably all the people who work downstairs would stop me on my way up like, "Oh, hey, oh no, Mikayla, you're looking a little down. We got the solution, okay? A tray of Spoyadel may or may not have fallen on the floor. This is for you. We can't sell it, but you can eat it if you want. That'd be ideal. They'd probably trudge up the stairs in the middle of the night with like a 3-tier wedding cake, like the wedding's off. Oh God, she got cold feet, but you got hot fudge. This cake is for you. Okay. It's for you. We love you. Be fantastic. They wouldn't have parties, I don't think, no noise in the middle of the night, just maybe some commotion in the mornings, like, oh, Polly, we got so many utensils. They're covered in custards and meringues and icings. How are we going to get them clean? Sorry. Send them upstairs. They'd send them right up to me. Wow. I'm choking on my own comedy because it's very good. It's spicy. It's good comedy. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. In college, I was a lesbian and I still am because I'm not a quitter. I don't believe in quitting, even when things are difficult. Now, I should have known I was gay like way earlier because growing up, I really wanted to be a nun. That sounded so fun. I was like, hold on, you're telling me I could live with like dozens of women in a castle? We make soap on the weekends. That sounds fantastic. I'm in. Sign me up. But I didn't find out until I was like 18. Luckily, though, I'm not the only queer person in my family. I have a wonderful aunt and her wife. They are, I believe, the cornerstone of the Northern New Jersey lesbian community. So I lucked out there. And they give me really good advice. It's just their advice is a little bit outdated. Like they came out in the 1980s. So I asked them, hey, how can I impress this girl? And they're like, okay, here we go. Okay, step number 1, marry a man, wait 10 to 12 years. Wait it out. Give it some time. You're playing the long game here. Like, no. I don't think you understand my question. Like, no. Then at your weekly all girls poker game, going up to your friend Debbie, give her a passionate but clumsy kiss on the side of the cheek, wait 10 to 12 more years. It never happened. Deny. Then at your goddaughter's communion, don't worry, Debbie's going to be there, okay? She's like family. Going up to her, kiss her full on the mouth and tell her you die for her, then live happily ever after. In secrecy, tell no one. Don't tell anyone ever about what you've done. It's okay advice. They've given me all the tools, and they've given me all the tools in actuality as well. They've given me 2 toolkits for 2 separate holidays. I got all my tools from them. So thank you all so much. My name is Mikayla. I'm going to be with you all evening long. But I'm very excited to bring up your first comic to the screen. She's a writer and an actor, and she teaches piano to adult learners on Zoom. So you have the chance to learn piano too. All the way from the San Francisco Bay Area, this is Jane Stone.
Hello there. Now that almost all the mandates have been lifted, people are traveling to the 4 corners of the earth. In order for me to get to this spot, I had to get off my sagging sofa and walk on foot across the living room. But it was worth it to see you. Where I live, a lot of people have installed these home security monitoring systems to help them feel safe. What makes me feel safe is 3 cartons of ice cream in my freezer and a stash of 64 rolls of toilet paper. I suppose if somebody does break in, I can offer dessert and a crap. Around here, there's rampant stealing of packages from front porches. It's really upsetting because no one wants anything of mine, nothing. No one wants my CPAP supplies for sleep apnea, and they're not scooping up my AARP magazines. They didn't even want my Hello Fresh box of broccoli. It's getting hard not to take this personally. I was talking to my cousin about COVID, and my cousin told me I should take mega doses of vitamin D. She says it's protective for 300 different things. I didn't even know there were 300 different things. I mean, beyond the big three, are there 297 other things to worry about? Maybe they're including the heartbreak of hangnails. I don't know. I just feel like hiding under the bed until my vitamin D gets here. I just hope that the thieves realize how powerful it is. Yesterday, I read that retailers are working on speeding up their deliveries because customers complain that the same day delivery is not soon enough. So last night I had this dream where I hear this loud humming above my house. So I went out to check it out. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Amazon, and my brand new electronic piano is plummeting toward the ground and crashes in the neighbor's driveway. Where's the bench? Did you forget the bench? I woke up screaming, so I took 5 Tums and got back in bed. I learned something from this. Do not eat a carton of Rocky Road at bedtime. Recently, I invested in real estate, a cemetery plot. It's in a place called Valley of Eternity. That should be long enough. But my only worry is that, I'm Jewish and we're supposed to be buried facing Jerusalem, which may be a problem because there's a Walmart blocking my view. So I also looked at mountains of eternity, hills of eternity, home of eternity, eternal home, home of peace, peace of home, peace of gardens, gardens of peace, garden of memory, piece of memory. Where is my memory? And what was I talking about? Oh yeah. A tisket, a tasket, you gotta buy a casket. $1,600 for an unsanded pine box with no pillow. But for $2,300, you can get a sanded pine box with a pillow. I mean, might as well be comfortable. Plus, you don't want the pallbearers complaining like, hey, Irv, you got a tweezer? I got a splinter in my pinky from this thing because she was too cheap to spring for the sanded model. Another option is Costco. Do you know that Costco sells caskets online? And if you order before noon, they'll deliver by 1 o'clock the next day. Of course, you do have to purchase a 12-pack. On the other hand, Costco has an excellent return policy. You have 1 year to decide whether you like the coffins. And if you don't like them or they don't fit, just lightly brush off the dirt. Then all you have to do is put the 12 caskets on the roof of your car, drive to the local Costco, cram the 12 coffins into a shopping basket, and wait in the return line. Take very good care of yourselves, sweethearts. Thank you for coming by.
Jane Stone. Jane, you now have me wondering how much it would cost to just have an Amazon drone kind of hover you around for the rest of eternity. That's maybe my new choice of how I'd like to go. Great job, Jane. Thanks for being on the show. Your next comedian, really funny guy, all the way from Chicago, Illinois, where he has assured me the river is back to brown from their St. Patrick's Day celebration. So all the way from Chicago, this is the very funny Kyle Parker.
Thank you, Mikayla. It's great to be here with you. Yes, the river is back to being its natural brown color, perfect for waterways. Hey, I do want to tell you, I feel very blessed because I am the father of five children. And I cannot tell you what it's like living with five people who think I'm a total moron. Actually, it'd be six if you include my wife. I'm not Catholic, but I went to Catholic schools growing up, and the priests wouldn't let me become an altar boy. They wouldn't let me go to confession. They gave me nicknames like the Virgin. Well, now I'm married with five kids. So who's laughing now, Father Haggerty? Oh, God, help me. I read about a prison break in Mississippi. And, prisons have a real problem. I think there's a very simple solution to all this. We should just give the prisoners iPhones. If you gave a prisoner an iPhone, you wouldn't need guards, you wouldn't need guns, you wouldn't need barbed wire. They would just go right in their cell, close the door, and they wouldn't come out until they were hungry. Just like my kids. I cannot watch TV anymore. It's too depressing. You got corrupt politicians, the war, and worst of all, The Bachelor. And there's so much violence on TV. Everyone is killing people are killing other people. I mean, it's too much. And I think it's unnatural. Man's basic instinct to kill is to hunt for the purposes of food. If people were meant to kill other people, we would taste better. I have friends that are, planning their summer vacations. And some of them are avoiding places where there's been shark sightings. I read a study that you have a 2 times better chance of being killed by a cow than a shark. So don't worry about going to Cape Cod this summer, but if you pass a farm, stay away from Bessie. Scientists predict that the Earth will be covered by more water due to climate change. More and more cities are going to be flooded. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Have you ever seen an unhappy person on a boat? My wife's name is Karen. Yes, that Karen. Yes, it's Kyle and Karen. We went from being 2 respectable suburban parents that are only disliked by our children to sounds like we own a bookstore owned by a QAnon firm. Our names have become so politically incorrect that I'm not even sure if some of our friends are really our friends anymore, or if they're just keeping us around in case of an emergency. Honey, I think we should invite Kyle and Karen over to our party next weekend. I know they're both incredibly annoying, but it sounds like Trump is still going to try and run for president. I just don't think it's safe to dump them right now. My wife works in a COVID ICU, which has been very stressful for the last couple of years for us. Amazingly, it hasn't impacted my love life. That was dead after the 5th kid. My wife likes to eat those plant-based foods that are shaped like cheeseburgers. She gets mad at me because I make fun of her all the time. And she says, honey, I just really love cheeseburgers, but I don't want to eat animals. So this allows me to enjoy something I'm not really supposed to have. And I'm like, all right, honey, I support you. But when you come to bed tonight, can you dress up as your sister? I read the Bible growing up, and what always had me confused were the names. You had these biblical Middle Eastern names like Ezekiel, Balthazar, Nebuchadnezzar. And then suddenly you have these apostles come around named Matthew, Luke, and John. And how many guys named Mark do you know who can ride a camel? And Jesus, he was supposed to be a Jewish dude. But what Jewish person ever named their kid Jesus? I think if he was walking around ancient Israel, people wouldn't be going, hey, there's the Messiah. They'd be going, yo, there's that Latino dude. Hey, thank you very much, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Kyle.
Kyle Parker. Yes, Kyle. Oh, I know your friends are friends with you for more than your names, but I'm sure they do want to be able to say some of my best friends are Karens. That probably works for them. Your next comic coming to the screen, also from New York City, a different part. Over there. This is the very funny. Oh, I have to mention, she made her stand up comedy debut just the other day. So this is her online stand up comedy debut. So please, a lot of love for the very funny Danielle Creighton.
Hi, thank you so much, Mikayla. I once got stuck in this very long and narrow hallway behind this 18-year-old influencer, having his mom take pictures of him in front of literally every single Instagrammable backdrop. She was visibly upset. She was like, "One more picture, Jeffrey, and then we're meeting your father for dinner." I've become totally dependent on my phone GPS, but I don't think it likes my stories. Like the other day, I was driving in the car with someone and was trying to tell a story, and it went like this. I was like, "You will not believe who I saw at the mall the other day. I saw turn right in 2.9 miles." Where was I? Oh, right. So you've seen Gossip Girl, right? Well, I never thought I would see her at a mall, but I saw turn right in 2.89 miles. So I saw turn right in. Can I have my phone? Thank you. My dad, he talks so loud in restaurants, and he's a good storyteller. And I noticed that the people in the tables nearby us at the restaurants are actively listening to his stories, which is weird because I feel like whenever he stops talking to get up or whatever, the people in the tables nearby are like, "Well, what happens next?" I have noticed that parents of medical school students can be some of the most competitive. Like two parents could be like, "My son graduated from medical school in 3 years. Well, my daughter graduated while she was still in high school. Well, my son graduated while he was a fetus and performed his own delivery." I've been looking for furniture on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and have to say that some people do not post good pictures on there. Like, "Do you have the socks on the couch to cover the stains? Because you missed a few." And I actually asked someone about this once. I emailed them. I was like, "Do the stains come out of the couch?" No, they never responded, but I know they listened because when I went back to the listing the next day, there were more socks on the couch. You know when you go like online clothing shopping and there's that subscription box that pops up and it asks for your email in exchange for discounts? But then there's also that no thanks box that you have to click to opt out. I have noticed some of those no thanks boxes can be kind of mean. One was like, "No thanks, I'm a loser." Another was like, "No thank you, I don't have any friends." But then another was like, "I don't want a discount. This is why my boyfriend left me." You know when you're meeting with someone in a line, say to go to the movies, and they get there a little bit before you do, and there's a really long line, and they're like kind of close to the front, right? Is it just me, or do you go out of your way to let the people in the line, everyone around you nearby, know that you're with that person and aren't just a line cutter? Something I like to do is just shout out very personal things to that person to show everyone nearby that I have a good relationship with that person. So some things I might say are, "Good news, I'm pregnant. My divorce just got finalized. Good news, I'm not pregnant." Or if I don't know anybody, that doesn't stop me. I just slide them a $20 bill and whisper, "Here, pretend we're friends." And then might say, "I just picked up your diarrhea medicine." My name is Danielle. Thank you so much and good night.
Danielle Creighton. Danielle, I'm sorry to hear about your experiences with Facebook Marketplace. I've only had the greatest success. This is my favorite thing I bought from Facebook Marketplace. This is a bust of Benjamin Franklin, and yes, it is a piggy bank. So Facebook Marketplace has worked out beautifully for me. Your final comic tonight. I'm so excited to have her on the show. She is so funny and a wonderful friend, great person. So please give it up all the way from the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. This is Holly Van Stratton.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm very excited to be here, but I'm a tiny bit nervous because my new boyfriend's watching. Well, I hope he is. If that is you, call me after the show. So a couple of weeks ago, I was at a bar and this guy runs up to me and he's like, "Oh my God, you look just like Sarah Palin." He said, "I should know. I watch a lot of Pornhub." "Yeah, who's nailing Palin?" And I said, "You buy me 2 drinks and you could be hammering Holly." So last week I went to get my eyebrows a little bit updated and I introduced myself to the new technician. I said, "Hi, my name is Holly." And she said, "Hi, my name is Ivy." And I was like, "Really? Or are you just trying to one up me on my Bush name game?" My parents got married when they were 17 and I came along 5 months later. Yeah, when I was old enough to do the math, I started introducing myself as Holly Backseat Van Stratton. My mom overheard me and she said, "If I hear you tell that story one more time, I'm going to tell you what really happened in the back of that Dodge Ram van in that miracle minute." My parents are still madly in love and have been married 53 years to each other. They make it really easy for me to remember my age. My brother, he's been married to his high school sweetheart for 25 years, and they've given my parents 2 beautiful grandchildren. They're only ones, but I'm not jealous because I will always be mom and dad's first fuck trophy. I recently moved from New York City to Dallas, Fort Worth area in Texas. And when I was packing up my apartment in New York, my mom said, "Well, what exactly are you taking with you?" And I said, "Well, I'm packing up my bed." And she's like, "That old thing?" And I'm like, "Mom, that thing has a lot of miles on it." So when I moved to Texas, I moved in with my friend Mary. Her daughter was engaged to be married. One day she runs into the kitchen holding this knife. And she said, "I'm going to confront my fiance because he's been cheating on me." Well, my friend Mary grabs the knife away from her and says, "You can't leave the house with that," sharpens it, and comes back and says, "You go make your mama proud." Yeah. And then Mary had second thoughts and said, "Give me back that knife. You have worked too hard and got your master's degree. Don't ruin your life over a man. Give that knife to your sister. She only has her GED." So recently I flew to Canada, where my family's from, for vacation. And I was in the airport lounge and I was having a coffee and I caught eyes with this guy across the way and totally cute. And he walks up to me and I noticed that he has 2 fake legs. And he's like, "I had to come over and tell you that I've been admiring you. And maybe when we got back to town, we could go on a date." And he says, "But before you answer, I'd like to tell you that I have 2 fake legs in case that, it bothers you." And I said, "Oh, I've been having sex with a fake penis for years. I'm good." So I got on the plane and something new and exciting happened to me. Have you ever been in first class and they have those lie flat beds? Well, for 8 hours, I was lying down and sleeping. The new and exciting part for me wasn't the bed. It was that when I woke up, the guy was still there next to me. So when I was in Canada visiting my family, it was so freaking cold. I had to remove my own hormone patch and force myself to have a hot flash just so I didn't have hypothermia. It was so crazy. I'm sure there might be people out there that have been skydiving before. I have, and I'm here to tell about it. So it was a great experience. I've been 3 times, and my friends are like, wow, isn't that scary? And I'm like, hell yeah, it's scary. But where else am I going to go to be able to strap a guy to my ass for 7 minutes for only $120? So before I left for Canada, since I hadn't been on a plane or out of the country for so long because of the pandemic, I left a note in my side table of my bed. And I said, if I should die and you're the one that has to go through my personal items, I'd like to apologize for what you're going to find in this drawer. And then under that, I said, and I'm going to apologize even more. So when you go in my closet and find that big box of the other stuff, just I'm sorry. So my friend Natalie was going to get a tattoo and she asked me to go with her. So I did. And we get there and she takes her pants off and she sits up on this bed and I'm looking directly at her crotch. Well, come to find out, she's not getting a tattoo. She's getting a labial piercing. And I'm thinking, girl, not even a piece of jewelry is going to be able to bedazzle that thing. So getting a little personal here, but I may have had some sexual relations recently. And my mouth was full of whatever was produced from the sexual encounter. And I walked over to the bathroom sink and I spit it out. And the guy said, spitters are quitters. And I said, do you know how many calories are in that? And he said, well, what is that? And I said, that's the sink. That's my calorie counter. Oh, goodness. So has anybody ever had that pain in your leg that when you're a Charlie horse, it's a pain in your leg that just won't go away? Well, I get them while I'm having sex. But of course, I'm not going to quit having sex. I continue because I'm going for that finish line. So the other day I was having sex and I had a Charlie horse and I just kept shaking my leg. And I shook my leg so hard that we both almost fell off the bed. And after he said, oh my God, that was amazing. Do you think we could do it again right now? And I'm thinking, can I fake a Charlie horse? So a lot of dating jokes. Anyways, I was dating this guy in New York and I walked into his apartment and I didn't know where he was, but I could hear the hair blower going. So I walk into his bathroom and he's blow drying the tub. Yeah. Come to find out, he has a problem with anything moist. Yeah, we should date now that I'm going through menopause. So last week, I was at the mall and this young, hot guy yells and calls me a MILF, like, mother, I like to fuck. And I walk up to him a little closer and I said, how dare you? You don't know me. I don't have kids. And then I walked up a little closer and I whispered in his ear and I said, if you and I were to have sex, you'd be the closest thing for me to having a baby inside of me. I'm Holly Van Straten, and thank you so much for your attention. And if you think you're my new boyfriend, please don't hesitate to call. Thank you so much. Love you. Have a good night.
Holly Van Straten. Yes, call that number, everyone. Okay, you won't. Holly, you can do anything. You can fake a Charlie horse. You can do anything. I know it. Thank you all so much for watching our show. We have a show every single month online after our workshop, but we also have shows back in person at Gotham Comedy Club in New York City. So if you want to be part of the American Comedy Institute, our workshops are totally online and you can perform both in person and online. Our next workshop starts on April 12th. You can go to comedyinstitute.com to learn more. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful